So, you notice anything nice at the hospital?
No, not really.
Julie responds.
Though I do wonder how come I got fine this quickly when I should have been in there for at least days.
Tomo begins making a thinking gesture, being more on the stupid side of things.
Well, I got no idea. But we got through okay, and that's what matters. Suddenly, a purple flash of lightning strikes the otherwise clear sky, and about 5 demons begin flying from that point to different locations. No one knows their objective. The next thing that happens, both Tomo and Julie, just as they were going to run to the appearance site, where Emily had also went to buy food from the supermarket, a big explosion of green flames and seemingly engulfs that initial landing area. That's our Emily for that, Tomo says out loud, as both of them stand in amazement. However, both of the girls, in their own excitement, didn't see that one of the flying demons was coming straight for them, diving directly at Julie's arm in fact. Fortunately, Julie noticed it in just enough time to shield the appendage with solid granite and come off with only a few minor cuts on her shoulder. It seemed to be coming back to strike at Julie to go in for the kill this time, but this time Tomo could throw enough fire so that the demon couldn't see anything with all the smoke, allowing Julie to cling to Tomo's back and get out of the way. There's no damn way we would have gotten out of that alive, if we didn't cloud its vision. Wait a minute, that thing looks identical to one of those precursors to birds, except even more intimidating and with wings as sharp as an extremely hot knife, Tomo exclaims. The demon makes a gut-wrenching scream which pushed them back towards the car, though softly enough where it'd only cause a minor bruise on Julie's back. This utterly terrified them, who had only seen demons prior, as being humanoid creatures. Oh shit Julie, are we going to die here, and be ripped to shreds? Relax, this may be even more dangerous than the demon that sucked on my head, but we'll get through this. They prepared for the demon to charge again, but it just flew in place. Almost like it knew what they were planning. Instead, it shot a stream of pure blood out of its mouth to quite literally jet stream Tomo and Julie to death. It drilled straight through the pavement and the car, and probably came out on some other side of the earth for all they knew. The car then exploded, practically shredding Julie's right leg to bits, and also burning Tomo's back. Julie wanted to scream in agony, but she had a junior to inspire for the near future, so she kept it in and cried softly instead. Holy shit Julie, you're bleeding out incredibly fast. Tomo looks in utter horror, while the demon charges in wings first to finish them off. However, as it was going to make the killing blow, a limestone chip soared directly into its eyelid and made it bleed profusely, forcing the demon to look away and miss them both. Diving straight into the flames of the car it blew up. Tomo helps of Julie to at least be able to see past the flames, thinking that maybe it had died due to burning, but instead, they are greeted with the demon standing directly over them, screeching and about to fire an even bigger jet stream to eradicate them. But this was all part of the girl's plan. To anger it enough that it'd stop thinking and instead use its survival instincts. That meant it was standing in the very thing that could put an end to him, flames. Tomo immediately takes the opportunity to intensify the already existing flames to the point where it outright starts burning the demon alive. Julie congratulates Tomo for listening to her strategy, having planned everything out to defeat this much more powerful foe. All would come on Julie. It was hard to follow. Julie kisses Tomo on the cheek as a reward. And so, they watch the demon burn to death. Wait a minute. Your leg. You'll die in minutes, if I don't do something about this. Tomo starts to panic, throwing fire on it by accident. However, the flames end up almost completely restoring Julie's leg, with the exception of skin tissue. Julie is honestly a little shocked, and expected to die right there and then protecting her friend. Hey Tomo, you remember anything about your orange flames being able to heal people? IT hint it actually worked. What? I thought the book was lying and Emily had the healing flames. Tomo looks surprised and extremely relieved. She goes and hugs Julie, who then smiles and uses a bit of earth magic to make herself the leg support for the time being. The muscle would have to readjust. We have to check on Emily right away. If one of those things stayed there, she could have had serious trouble, Julie says, and so the two of them rush on over to the supermarket. It seems like no one died in the entire initial attack, and Emily cleaned up most of the weaker demons with just that one big blast. In fact, she had no idea what these more powerful demons even looked like. They were big, and had, like, a bunch of scary dinosaur things on them with metal coating. Emily kind of looks at Tomo like she's crazy. Don't worry Emily, it wasn't like that. They were demonic pterodactyls. Emily then sighs and chuckles with the others. So, did you get the groceries? Well yes. That's the reason I didn't make the explosion bigger. As she's saying that, a demon tries to get the jump on everyone, but Emily just casually fireballs it away. After more light-hearted joking, the Love Spell team decide to head back to Emily's house together. As they leave, they notice the townsfolk rejoicing on the city being saved. They feel quite good about themselves for their hard work. As they are walking back home, Tomo finally gets the courage to ask Emily what she meant by that secret question. Emily reveals that it's just a question about if Tomo likes big-breasted girls or not, to which Tomo responds that all boobs are sacred and should be treasured. Julie helps a little about that, and begins poking Emily on her back. This makes Emily stop and say something to them. Before we go any further, I know we haven't really discussed this at all, but is it really okay for you to pretend to be 4 years older than you are just to be together in university? Tomo looks at Julie, who then looks back with a face that just screams hey, it's not my fault, me and Emily are childhood friends, okay? Oh. I just want to get a nice education, and getting it while I'm still a teen will really help me out later. Tomo retorts to Emily. Julie then says, I do it just because Emily would be way too alone without me being around. She laughs a bit to herself, but then stops, as Emily is about to say something about her flunking her high school tests. Hey, I've studied a lot since then. Don't compare me to 2 years ago. Tomo then offers both of them some help if they wants to learn French anytime soon. Wait, Tomo, you know how to speak and write French? Yeah, I'm really good at it. She smiles. Because Emily wants to learn some of the great French classics to be able to write better. Julie tells Tomo, I'll be sure to teach it to you too someday. It'll be fun. We can't wait for that, Tomo-chan. They finally see Emily's house, and the corpse of the demon, and they all get in the mood for an evening party. However, the moment they walk on the driveway, someone reveals themselves to have been standing there, waiting for them, since the demon attack. What the hell were you doing in my house? Emily yells at the mysterious figure, to which no response comes from the figure's gesture. The book. It forcefully asks. Where is it? The girls get much more serious than usual, with two of them, Tomo and Julie, wondering what the hell they're going to do with the book, and one remaining absolutely silent. The figure seems to know one of them is trying to keep the location secret. Emily of the, what was it, Love Spell team? You know that I am aware of your secrets. I do not know what it is, but I will find it. One way or another. It grips its hand, as it says this, and proceeds to warp away from the location. Tomo tells the figure to get back here, as they haven't said anything about their intentions, while Julie just sighs. Emily, you let someone else know that we exist with that big explosion. Though I can't really blame you for it. It seems like they happened to be after the book. Why they didn't just ask if they could have it is really beyond me. Emily shrugs. Either way, I have to resort the bookshelf. The girls still have their evening party, but a foreboding ominous presence loomed right above their happiness. An uncertainty. They didn't even know who were after these books, or even why, and none of them could shake it. Tomo decides to put an enema on to help everyone not to worry too much. Oh wow. This boat journey is actually a really cool show. I can't believe you have the first season. Emily breaks her normally very sweet and shy tone, and starts posing like one of the characters. Well, of course they're Tomo-chan. Japanese entertainment is the best in the world. Tomo gets emotionless for a moment, trying to process everything going on at the moment. That she wasn't alone in liking this obscure stuff. How much of to Emily might actually be, still wondering if the hole in the house is ever going to get fixed. It broke Tomo for 3 minutes straight. But then Julie just explained to her that Emily is an introvert, and because of meeting Julie, was able to find Tomo in the first place. And she fixed that gaping hole in the living room with a bin of granite, only to find that the book was dug underneath there the whole time. That somehow is extremely genius and extremely stupid at the same time. Julie says. They finally put on the show and bask in its glory, and enjoy themselves. About 10 different times Emily couldn't help herself but to pose and scream along the lines, and it made the experience surprisingly a lot better. After about 6 episodes and a nice home-cooked meal made by Julie, they get tired enough that they all want to go to sleep. They all say goodnight and snuggle in the same bed for comfort. After all, a home invasion did occur beforehand. Emily and Julie get rather sweet dreams, doing something they can all enjoy, as kids. It was heavenly for them. But oh no, her mind was in a whole other place, with everything being dark. She can only feel herself. Not even the breeze of wind. Everything was silent, except for her. "Hello? Anyone there?" she shouts out. No one responded. Nothing responded. She sat like this for what seemed to be an eternity. And then the rain of fire came down. It didn't hurt her, but ever since the first drop, she could hear deathly screams of other people's suffering and regrets, never being able to fulfill them. This caused Tomo to cry profusely, to herself. No one else could hear her, but she could hear everyone else. And then the spear struck straight through her spirit, covered in blood and ashes. Mind-shattering pain shot through her, and then the dream ended, leaving Tomo cry screaming, waking everyone up at 3 a.m. "Oh God, Tomo, you must have had a bad dream." "Don't worry, everyone's okay." Emily says this, and they both hug Tomo, who feels their warmth. It unsettles her for a bit, but then she felt safe again. And she slept like a baby. The rest of the girls did as well, and their dreams resumed, except Tomo, who, for some reason, got one about her love for oatmeal cookies. They wake up at 7, Emily's comfortable time, who then wakes the two others up. They enjoy breakfast together, and then, for the first time ever, all three of them go to school without wearing a weird superhero jacket.